Hey guys, so the Ultra Perfect Cell banner is now live, and I wanted to do a video talking about whether or not I think I would recommend for people to summon for this character. This is the first Ultra character to release since Legends Fest when we got Ultra Beast Gohan, and every time we get an Ultra character, they do tend to have a pretty big influence on the meta, so I think I wanted to do this video. I haven't done this, I don't think, since Legends Fest, because usually for LF characters, they're not really like super mega crazy to the point where they're going to change the entire game with just them releasing. But for a character like Ultra Cell, I mean, looking at his kit, I've used him in my first showcase video. I think this character certainly does have the power to essentially shift the entire game. So I think it's worth doing a video here. So for Ultra banners, I usually don't recommend people summon on them. And I think I'm probably going to end up maintaining that philosophy, but there are a few things I want to talk about here that I don't typically talk about during these should you summon videos. And the first one is going to be, if you're a fan of Dragon Ball Daima, I'm not going to be spoiling anything about Daima in this video, but if you are a fan of Dragon Ball Daima and you are somebody who is going to be really excited to use Daima characters and you'll have the most fun that way, then I clearly think skipping this should be like a no-brainer for most players. I do think we are going to be seeing Daima characters coming very, very soon, potentially this month. Not exactly sure who we are going to be seeing from Daima, but I mean, you know, not only Daima, but we're also pretty close to the anniversary. We're only about 2.5 months away from the beginning of the 7th anniversary, and we know there are massive updates in the works for the game. We know the 7th anniversary should be a very special celebration. So I would just, you know, before you decide to summon on this banner, I would just keep that in mind as we move forward here. We are kind of now far enough away from the anniversary. Like, we're approaching the point of the year where it's like we should be entering saving mode for the anniversary pretty soon. So yeah, that should be a thought that everybody has in the back of their minds here. But then again, if you're somebody who's just going to have more fun using Daima characters, maybe you really like Daima the show, maybe you are looking forward to some of the new characters introduced in Daima, some of the new forms, then yeah, I mean, if you're going to have the most fun that way, then obviously skipping this banner probably makes sense. I think there's a good chance, because they did release the free-to-play character for the celebration today, which is the second form Cell. We already know that the Cell Saga celebration only goes until the middle of this month, so you know what's coming out in the second half of March. What do you guys think? I mean, it seems pretty clear to me, but that's one thing to consider. And then the second thing I do actually want to talk about as well is Legends banners overall have slowly been decreasing in value. And the reason why I say this is because if you take a look at the overall quality of featured character lineups at this point, they're not as good as they used to be, right? You would look at like a standard LF banner and you would see like, okay, you know, there's like 2 or 3 or 4 characters on here that I actually really could use copies of and that are actually very powerful right now. But even looking at like some of the Legends Fest banners, like I'm picturing that transforming Vegito Blue Legends Festival banner, and it's like, besides Vegito himself, there really was almost a 0% chance you would pull something that would actually help you in PvP on that banner. So the value was just very, very low. But I think in comparison still to Ultra banners, those LF banners are still better. And the main reason why I'm saying that is because the format is better. You are getting the summon coins. You are getting the potential to have pity. I think the steps overall, I think, are actually probably a little bit better on the LF banners too. Not really that big of a difference, but the summon coins being on the LF banners, I think, is really, really big. But I think compared to like a year or two ago, when you look at the difference between Ultra banners and LF banners, one of the big things I would always mention about LF banners is that the lineups are always better, right? For Ultra banners, I mean, we could take a look at this one. I think this lineup is actually a little bit better than we typically see for Ultra banners, but like, Cell obviously himself is what you're trying to go for here, but if you don't pull Cell, what are you walking away with? This Cell is at this point not the craziest. I mean, he's waiting for a unique equip. He's probably not going to get a Zenkai, but you know, he's in line for unique equipment. The Gammas, I would say, are okay. They're not good, they're not bad. They're just like okay/mediocre at this point. They are a character that already has received their unique equipment, and I think we are now waiting for their Zenkai Awakening, but who knows how far away that's going to be. The Tag Androids are waiting for their Zenkai. I think they're probably going to give them a Zenkai as opposed to a unique equipment, but they could give them a unique equipment. The thing with unique equipment at this point is there's almost like not that big of a differentiation between a unique equipment and a Zenkai for an LF character. They could just straight up make a character top 3 in the game. Like if they wanted to, they could make this tag 17 and 18 a top 3 character in the game by giving them a unique equipment. It just depends on how off the wall they want to go with it, right? It comes down to that. So this character is in line for some kind of buff, whether it's a unique equipment or Zenkai Awakening. This purple cell I think is actually pretty good. I think he did get hurt a little bit by the battle system change because it's a lot more difficult, I think, to find a window where you're safe to charge Ki to fill up his gauge. But he's still a pretty effective character, and I think him being next to like purple 17, being able to Zenkai buff and potentially run like a double purple setup is pretty strong. This green 16 I feel like actually could be okay and proud still. He's over a year old because he drops with LF Super Vegeta, but he's not like a terrible character, so at least he's got some value there if you pull him. Android 8 is just not good enough. This Gohan's not good enough. Purple 17, I mean this GT 17, we're waiting for him to get a Zenkai. Revival Cell could be decent and proud, I think. This green Cell, I think, could be decent and proud. Does a lot of damage, but his defenses are not very good. Very good bench here with Purple 21. Good bench here, especially for the Ultra Cell with Red 13. Yellow Cell at this point, unfortunately, I mean, he's just kind of had his spotlight already. It's kind of come and gone. He's had a very good run. When he first dropped, before his Zenkai, like when he first initially dropped with Red Gohan, he was crazy, crazy good. He got his Zenkai. He was one of the better 1% sparking Zenkais we got. And at this point, he's kind of just once again taking a back seat, so not much value out of this character. His Zenkai ability also is not, well, I guess a Z ability plus a Zenkai ability combination, because he's only buffing one stat with the Z ability. It could be worse, I guess, because it's yellow androids, could help maybe the Gammas potentially, but yeah, there's better bench options than him right now. Purple Gohan, same thing with him, kind of. He got his unique equip last year for the Cell Saga campaign last year in 2024. He actually was solid with that, but it's now been a full year since then, and he's just not that good anymore. So those are the characters we're looking at here. Again, I think like at least you have like a purple Cell who could be okay. If these guys get a buff, they can be okay. The Gammas are okay. Well, actually, I'd call this guy better than okay. He's pretty good, this purple Cell. The Gammas are okay. But obviously the prize here is going to be Ultra Cell. Right now on every single banner that is available, the best character you can pull from the summon screen is Ultra Perfect Cell. I think when all's said and done, again, we don't really have much experience with him yet because he just came out. I've only done one showcase on him so far at 8 stars. But from what I'm able to tell, I mean, he's at least going to be like top 2 in the game. I think it's based on initial impressions, he seems like he's just the best character in the game to me, but we will need more experience there. But he's a very, very influential unit, especially when like a bunch of the top characters are yellow. So he's going to change the game for sure. But yeah, I mean, again, I don't ever really want to recommend people summon for an Ultra character. If you have the teams for this guy to be ran on, I think it's not a bad idea to summon on this banner, actually. And again, that's mostly just because I've never usually said that before. I've never been like, I don't recommend. I never said I'd recommend summoning summoning on an Ultra banner before, because the format is just really bad. But as they continue to decrease the value and the quality of normal LF banners because of the lineups just being terrible most of the time, I feel like it's harder for me to say to skip Ultra banners when these Ultra characters are just way too overtuned, right? Like, I can't really tell you if you're somebody who's using Future often, if you're somebody who's using Powerful Opponent often, if you're somebody who's using androids, like, I can't tell you to skip this cell. So I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to what teams you actually use, what characters you're going to have the most fun using. If you're a Daima fan, then I definitely would say skip, because we're about to get Daima characters most likely. But you know, it's not like a tidal wave of a difference in value between this banner and like a typical LF banner. You're going to be pulling useless LFs if you don't pull the main LF character most of the time. I guess one thing also to mention is that they have started becoming a lot better with giving us pretty competent 1% sparking characters. Like Super Trunks is really good. The Purple 17 I think is really good. Tamagami number 3 is really good. So they have given us some decent 1% sparkings alongside the new LF characters. But like the older LFs that are returning on a lot of those LF banners just are not very good. I mean, you're not really going to get a lot of mileage out of them. So I don't really see how that's much different than like an Ultra banner. And the main headlining character, I mean, you're not really going to get a better shot at a headlining character than this Cell. I mean, he's the king, I think, right now. But Yeah, I would actually say probably a shock to most people watching this, but if you want to summon on this, I think it's fine. I don't really see a huge issue there. The only thing I would say is we are slowly approaching the anniversary. 7th anniversary, I think, is probably going to be the biggest celebration we've ever seen. We know we are getting, for sure, I mean, this is literally, they literally told us, we are getting the biggest update we've ever seen in this game before the 7th anniversary drops. So we could be seeing potentially some big things here that might make you a little bit hesitant to spend your CC, but I just want to warn you guys. But the cell is very good. I don't think we're going to be seeing a case where like he just becomes obsolete in the next 2 months. I just can't really see it. But yeah, not a bad banner to summon on. If you want to go ahead and pull the trigger, I would say it's not really that bad of a decision. And if they continue making LF step up banners just worse and worse, then I will start to recommend summoning for ultras more and more. So let me know if you guys are going to decide to summon on this ultra cell banner. Let me know if you've already summoned, how your summons have went. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one.